Welcome back to Broadcast Brains. It's empty 2017. Today we're talking about our friends at Bluefish. Tom Lithgow, thanks for coming on board.
No, thank you for inviting me.
So Bluefish444, tell us more about the company and what you guys have been doing.
Sure. So Bluefish444 are a manufacturer and developer of SDI video interfaces. So essentially that gives people the ability to bring in SDI, uncompressed SDI signals, and then process those and then output them back into other SDI infrastructure. So I'm the product manager at Bluefish444. So my role goes across understanding the full product range and working out what the product roadmap is for Bluefish444.
Now, your cards are really used in a wide range of applications over the, I suppose, content creation industry. And the cards are really, I suppose, a helper to work with other software developers and get their signals out into the broadcast realm. So can you give us a bit of an overview of some of the different packages or some of the different partners you work with?
Yep, sure. So you've got it spot on there. So Bluefish work across quite a wide variety of areas within the industry, ranging from broadcast through to post-production content creation. So that's more the end users might be using things like content creation tools such as Media Composer, Adobe Premiere Pro, some color grading applications like Simulate Scratch and those kind of things. But also developers develop their own solutions using Bluefish444 SDI video hardware and our software development kit, and they'll then install those cards and that solution into their software or their server. And so that sort of is more in the broadcast realm. So basically broadcast graphics companies who might make telestrators or this kind of thing, they will often use Bluefish video hardware to interface with other points in the SDI chain. So an example of that is the Supernova S Plus that I've brought with me today. So this is a 4-channel SDI video card, which basically all of our video cards are bidirectional. So they can be an input or an output or a combination of the two. So you can actually have 2 SDI inputs and 2 SDI outputs on this card, or you can have 4 SDI inputs depending on what you're trying to do with our products.
Sure, it certainly adds a lot of flexibility for client applications.
That's right.
So for these developers, you have an SDK that they work with, and then they develop their applications on top to use your hardware.
That's correct. So there's a software development kit that allows people to integrate with our hardware, transfer frames to and from the hardware. Then their software will do some processing like graphics overlays and similar, record to disk or other processes. But the SDK is the way that they would interface with our video hardware.
Now, on top of that, you've also been creating some of your own applications for these cards. And certainly, if you could, Tom, tell us a little bit more about what you've been doing in that regard.
Sure, yep. So that's right. We do have some software that we ship out with every Bluefish card that's available to our customers. So we've always supplied some form of software with our video cards. We've recently announced IngeStore software. So IngeStore is our multi-channel capture application. So like I said, with the Epoch 4K Supernova S Plus, you can have all of the SDI connectors as inputs. So when that's the case, you have up to 4 channels of SDI capture. Those can then be written down to common content creation file formats such as DNX HD or ProRes, to be then fed into the shared storage and then accessed by content creation tools such as Media Composer or Adobe Premiere Pro.
Sure. Well, Tom, certainly on our stand right now, we have IngeStore running. And in fact, we're recording our cameras of this interview right now into IngeStore onto our Avid Nexus shared storage. And on our screen here, you can see the actual recordings happening right now. This is a really powerful piece of software that comes with the cards, and really adds a lot of flexibility with the codecs and its performance. So it's a really exciting addition to the range.
Yeah. So that's right. We've recently sort of updated IngeStore to add quite a wide variety of codec options like I mentioned before, DNX HD and ProRes H.264. Depending on the industry you're working within, it's quite a flexible product. So sort of for the live production market where you might have multiple cameras in this instance, you can then connect up to your shared storage or to direct attached storage and write those files. Then they're instantly available to your content creation tools such as Media Composer without having to sort of offload them from the camera. You don't have to take SD cards out of the camera and then offload them onto the storage. It's available to you straight away. So we do support the OP-Atom format, Avid's native format within Media Composer. So the media doesn't then need to be transcoded before import. So it's basically there straight away for your editors to start working on.
And on top of that, Tom, you also create the AAF files for Media Composer as well, so the editors can just bring these straight into their bin and the media pops up straight away.
That's right, yeah. So we do offer the ability to create the AAF and the XML files from within IngeStore, so each clip would generate its own AAF file, and you can set a different location for that, so you can have a media location and metadata location, and then just bring in the AAF file into Media Composer and the media will pop up.
Well, certainly in applications for multi-camera studios, what we've certainly seen in recent times, that we're not just relying on a line cut anymore. Everyone wants to be able to record every camera, bring it into the edit suite and be able to make changes down the track. So IngeStore certainly allows people to do that, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So even if it was a live production, people quite often want to keep the ISO recordings available to maybe create some packages afterwards and add supplementary media to their production later down the track. Archive it. Storage these days is not so much of a problem, especially when you're recording in a compressed format such as DNX HD or something like that. And the integration with the shared storage, so the ability to write into shared storage such as the Nexus storage you're using here, just allows you to do that. And there's a lot of other industries as well, aside from the live production industry, that are interested in IngeStore software, such as archival, live production in the field, where you need tight turnaround. We do offer some unique features such as edit while record for certain formats. That's where you can basically record down to your shared storage or your local storage and start accessing the files while they're still being written. So it's a live production workflow.
Well, certainly in normal worlds, you need some pretty expensive hardware to do that. So being able to open up those capabilities for fast turnaround is pretty exciting.
Yep, that's right.
Now, one thing we do have on our stand is an IngeStore server. So, Tom, I wonder if you'd be able to tell us a little bit more about the idea in trying to develop some of those things for moving forward.
Certainly. So, IngeStore Server is essentially an appliance device that's been specifically designed to house a Bluefish video card, the Supernova S Plus in this scenario. It also has a 10 gigabit network controller, so you can connect it to your shared storage, and that can be via fiber or via copper. And basically that system's been specified to be able to record up to 4 channels of all of the codecs that we offer. So one of the complexities in delivering software such as this is understanding the performance you might need from your system, making sure it's compatible. We've basically taken the complexity out of that and said this is the recommended way to go if you want to be able to access any of those codecs, up to 4 streams of encoding on a single device, and connect that into your shared storage system.
Certainly from our experience with the system on the show here, we've found we can just click the button, start recording, and we don't have to worry about it anymore. So as an appliance, it's definitely doing exactly what you're talking about. And we've been trying it out in a mixture with ProRes and DNX, and it's been working really, really well. So certainly is a great product, and
that's great to hear.
We look forward to playing around with it some more.
Excellent.
But Tom, thanks so much for coming on Broadcast Brains at SEMPTI 2017, and thank you very much for talk today. And
no, thank you for having me.
Thank you. Cheers.